Thank you, everybody, for being here today. We're going to go over our most recent officer-involved shooting from July 20th at 557 Tramway Northeast. One thing I want to add before we start, is that this incident did involve a state police officer as well as an APD officer. If you have any questions related to state police involvement, you need to direct your questions directly to state police. With that, I'll have Chief Medina give some opening remarks.
Just want to thank everybody for being here today. We're going to be giving a briefing for the community on the officer-involved shooting from July 20th at 557 Tramway Boulevard Northeast. I think it's important for us to also recognize that we're very fortunate that we did not have an officer killed this day. We did have an officer who sustained an injury during this time. As you review the video and you see what actually occurred, you'll clearly see how close this officer was to possibly being more seriously injured or possibly even killed. I also want to thank the heroic officers that were out there that day from APD and New Mexico State Police, as there was a child inside this home, and that was their biggest concern, was the safety of the child, and that's why they decided to make the decisions to enter into the home that they had made. So a lot of positive things about this incident, a lot of concerns also will always come, and we'll review and see how we could improve ourselves and make sure that our people aren't in that type of danger. So I'm just going to turn it over to to Commander Hartsock, and we will take questions at the end. Thank you.
My name is Commander Kyle Hartsock with the Investigations Bureau here at the Albuquerque Police Department. This critical incident community briefing will provide information about a male who was wanted for felony warrants and shot a SWAT officer, and that resulted in an officer-involved shooting. You're about to see relevant video footage, audio, photos, and learn about other evidence and police procedures related to the case so you can have a better understanding of what occurred based on what we know right now. The Albuquerque Police Department conducts very thorough criminal and use of force investigations, which typically require investigators to interview multiple witnesses, review hours of video footage, and analyze a significant amount of forensic evidence. We're still at the early stages of this investigation, which can often take several months to complete. Our understanding of this incident may change as this additional evidence is collected, analyzed, and reviewed. We also do not draw any conclusions about whether the officers acted consistent with our policies and the law until the facts are known and the investigation is complete. A word of caution: the images and video may be disturbing. When police officers use force to arrest a subject or defend against an attack, it can be graphic and difficult to watch. In addition, there may be strong language by those shown in the video. Two officers discharged their duty weapons during this incident. Officer Zachary Herbst with the Albuquerque Police Department. He's been with the department since May 2014. He's assigned to the SWAT team. He has no prior officer-involved shootings, and at this time he is back on duty. The other officer worked with the New Mexico State Police SWAT team, and we will not be releasing their name at the request of the New Mexico State Police. The person shot by officers was 20-year-old Emmanuel Galaviz Campos. This incident took place in our Foothills Area Command. It took place at an apartment complex at 557 Tramway Boulevard Northeast. Detectives with the Albuquerque Police Department were contacted by the Santa Fe Police Department requesting assistance with the apprehension of Emmanuel Galaviz Campos, who had felony warrants for his arrest. The felony warrant was for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and shooting at or from a motor vehicle, both felonies. Detectives were also informed by APD's homicide unit that Mr. Campos was the primary suspect in an Albuquerque homicide that had occurred earlier in 2023. Detectives confirmed Mr. Campos entered an apartment and then contacted our SWAT team to help arrest Mr. Campos. During this time, two adults exited the apartment at officers' request, but Mr. Campos did not exit. And the two adults that left stated there was a 2-year-old child with special needs that was still inside the apartment. We would later determine the 2-year-old belonged or was related to one of the two adults that exited the apartment and was not related to Mr. Campos. Crisis negotiators were able to make contact with Mr. Campos over the phone, but he said he was out of state at the time and denied being inside the apartment. The officers told him they knew he was inside the apartment, and they were also very worried about the 2-year-old, and they wanted both of them to exit safely. Campos continued to deny being inside the apartment and eventually stopped responding to our crisis negotiation team. This is video from Officer John Holler. Officer Holler received a gunshot wound to his right arm in this video. Officer Sean Callanan and Officer William Jackson with our Tactical Emergency Medical Services, or what we call TIMS. These are medically trained officers that respond on these critical incidents. Immediately began treating Officer Holler's gunshot wound after it occurred. We're going to play you some of that as well. Officer Holler was treated and released from the hospital on the same day of this incident. Here's this video.
Emmanuel, we know you're inside! Emmanuel! Take it down now, Emmanuel! Or force will be used against you! We know you're inside! We know you're inside! That's open. Keep working. Yep, you're good, Alex. Keep working. Bolster up. Bolster up.
Tourniquet right arm! Tourniquet right arm!
Come over here. Get behind. Get over here. Sit down. Sit down. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. Give me your arm. Thank you. You're gonna be okay. I'm gonna get my phone real quick. Attempts to CP. I've got an officer shot. Officer down. Sit down. Sit down. Yeah, I got you. You're gonna be okay, brother.
Yeah. I didn't even know I got shot.
Are you hit anywhere else?
I don't think so. I don't know.
You're gonna be okay.
This is video from Officer Herbst. Officer Herbst is on, or is right next to the window when the shooting takes place. In this video, you're going to see Officer Holler, that's the officer who gets shot, breaching the window and attempting to open a closet door where, unbeknownst to him at the time, Emmanuel was hiding. Officer Herbst does fire his weapon in this video.
Will be used against you. We know you're inside. We know you're inside. Yep, there you go, Holler. Keep working it. Yep, you're good, Holler. Keep working it.
I'm coming up.
Hold on, Holler. Breaking,
Hold on, Holler.
Holler, are you good? Stop right down. Drop the gun. Drop the gun. Get Holler out. Stay down. Do not move.
This is the video from the state police SWAT officer who does fire his weapon. In this preview, you can see that's Officer Holler who's going to get shot, and Officer Herbst is just to the left of this officer to kind of give you perspective.
We know you're inside. We know you're inside. That's open. There you go, Holler. Keep working. Yep, you're good, Holler. Keep working it. I'm coming up. Hold on, Holler. Break it right. Hold on, Holler. Holler, are you good? Stop it down. Drop the gun. Drop the gun. Get Holler out. Stay down. Do not move. He's down. Suspect is down. Do not move. I will fire again.
This is a still shot from that OBRD we just showed you, showing the suspect with his gun pointed from around the closet, pointed and firing directly towards officers. This is a floor plan of the apartment that Mr. Campos was inside. And the red circle was the closet that Mr. Campos was hiding inside, and you can see the window on your right, but really to the left if you're outside the apartment that the officers were working at the time. And the blue circle is where SWAT would locate the 2-year-old after they made entry. We're going to show you the video of the SWAT officers rescuing the 2-year-old within a few minutes of the shooting taking place.
Get him, we gotta find the kid.
Give me two! Give me two!
I need additional.
I'm with you. Hey, no! Hey. Hey, this door's closed. Do we have eyes in here?
No.
Hold on.
Yeah. Archie and them have eyes in that.
I'm gonna tell him. All right. Here is two. Ready?
I hear kid.
Where?
Here. On me, kid.
I'm with you.
Pick up this. Pick this up.
I got it.
Reach and go.
Reach and go.
Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Come here, my love. Come here, my baby.
We got kid. It's okay.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
We got the kid.
Good boy, baby. It's okay, baby. It's okay, baby.
A total of 19 casings were located on scene, both outside and inside the apartment. Right now, the investigation believes of those 19, 15 came from police officers and 4 came from the offender. This was one of the shields that one of the SWAT officers was holding up, and you can see the impacts on the shield from the suspect firing out at officers. You're looking at the air conditioning unit that you can see Officer Holler kind of fall down into, and you can see his wound started to expel blood almost immediately during the shooting. Looking inside this is a view inside the room, well, from where the closet was that Mr. Campos was hiding in. And this is now inside that room, and you can see those closet doors, those kind of accordion doors opened up. That is where Mr. Campos was hiding as the SWAT team was making entry. A total of 4 guns were recovered from the apartment. This gun here was the one we believe Mr. Campos used to fire and strike our officer. At this time, the gun has not been reported stolen, but it's still under investigation if it's been involved in other crimes and its origin. One of the other guns involved, or not involved, but inside the apartment belonged to the homeowner, and she did tell us about it at the time. The 2 other guns were not reported stolen, but they weren't in working condition either, and it's still under investigation if they're tied to any other crimes. This shows some of the casings inside the apartment from Mr. Campos's gun. Life-saving measures were attempted on Mr. Campos on scene, but he was pronounced deceased. Mr. Campos was identified as a suspect in a downtown homicide earlier this year, and depending on several factors, had he surrendered peacefully that day, he might have been charged with that murder. We believe others might be involved in the homicide, so it remains open while those leads are investigated. Officer Holler was transported to the hospital that day and released, and he is actually back on duty at this time. Over the next several months, the Albuquerque Police Department will continue to investigate and analyze this incident. We will continue interviewing any new witnesses that come forward and complete any forensic tests. After the investigation is complete, our Force Review Board will forward the findings to the Superintendent of Police Reform to determine if this incident met the high standards of the Albuquerque Police Department. The multi-agency task force will forward their case to the district attorney's office, who will make any determination of criminal charges. We can take questions now. Yes.
Do we know the relation Campos had with the folks who lived in that apartment?
They indicated they just recently met him, but they were not blood related according to them.
And then is there a reason why the SWAT team decided to go in that window versus the other bedroom?
We don't really discuss some of the tactics our SWAT team deploys on that.
Can you be more specific about what homicide he was suspected in?
I'll refer to our homicide unit if they want to release more details on it, but because we believe other people were involved, we're not divulging too many details about that at this time.
And the first shot, the one that hit Holler, did it go through the closet door, or was he? Because it looked like there was a hole in the door, and I was curious if that was from that.
I don't think we can say definitively if it traveled through a door or not, but he was hit very early on, but we fired back fairly quick as well. So hard to say. Yes?
Do you know how many times Galaviz Campos was shot and where?
I don't have all the details from his autopsy, but the autopsy final reports can sometimes take several weeks as well, but OMI would have that final documentation of his wounds.
Okay.
I guess with the status update of the child, because he was put in this situation, is CYFD getting involved?
I mean, we looked into the circumstances of it, but at this time, we don't have any investigation into the well-being of the child. The mother or the relative responded to our commands to exit the apartment.
And we don't know if that is his mother.
A relative of the child's was one of the two adults that exited.
On the diagram that you showed, it showed the kid was on another room. Do we know if the kid was there the whole time or if he was moved?
According to the two adults, the child was not in that bathroom when they left the apartment. But we're not going to probably be able to say how he got there. He's 2 years old and has special needs. So.
Okay, thank you, everybody.